Washington. We need a proven, effective leader. Mary Camacho Torres will fight for all the rights and privileges of U.S. citizens. She'll fight to bring SSI to Guam. She'll fight to secure RICA justice for our people. She'll stand up, speak out, and demand equal treatment because we've earned it.
I'm Mary Camacho Torres. I'm ready to be your voice in Congress, and I will finish the work.
I'm Mary Camacho Torres, and I approve this message.
KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adai Itano program. Apply at matson.com and McDonald's of Guam. I'm loving it.
Guam's childcare funding debate is no longer just about covering this year's costs. I'm Nevaeh Anderson with why lawmakers say the bigger decision could be what happens if federal support ends altogether next.
Can Guam keep up with the cost of construction as island continues to feel the impacts of the military buildup? I'm Mitsuki Hirayama with that conversation and more taking place inside here at the Guam Industry Forum.
The LEAC increase has been effective for almost a month now, and tonight we take a look into the thought process on why GPA opted to increase it and their plans to look for different sources of fuel for the island. I'm Don Sulet with the details coming up.
Good evening, Guam. Happy Wednesday and half a day. We are KUAM. This is Prime Time, and here's your stories for tonight. Well, in our top story, for months, Guam has been waiting on delayed federal child care funding, and now that most of those federal dollars have finally arrived, lawmakers are asking a different question. What happens if Washington cannot be counted on next time? Our Nevaeh Anderson seeks out that very answer in this story.
Guam has never put in local dollars to child care.
For decades, Guam's child care subsidy program has relied almost entirely on federal funding. Now, Department of Public Health Director Teresa Areola says that may have to change.
But we are at a point where the question is, will Guam be able, or is Guam willing to help families by giving a subsidy, a local subsidy?
That conversation took center stage Tuesday as lawmakers continued the 9th special session, reviewing the administration's request to appropriate funding for the Guam Child Care Development Fund. While the governor requested $11.4 million in aid, Public Health told senators the program's immediate need is closer to $7.6 million. The remaining local share needed to cover the program's roughly $29 million in operating costs through the end of the fiscal year after Guam finally received its delayed $22 million federal allotment. Health Committee Chair Senator Sabrina Salas-Matanani said lawmakers want to support families, but first need a clearer accounting of how taxpayer dollars would be spent. Senators then revisited the administration's earlier decision to redirect $5 million in local funds to keep subsidy payments flowing while Guam waited on federal dollars. Division of Child Welfare Administrator Patricia Mofnis explained the money came from Child Care Development Fund allocations normally set aside for Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center and the Department of Youth Affairs, not from unrelated public health programs.
What we did was we just paused that payment to other contracts in order to prioritize paying out subsidy. It was internally within the Bureau of Child Care Services. It wasn't from other programs within public health.
But senators questioned what that meant for those services moving forward.
So we did provide them their first allotment, and no other payment has been made.
And is there any money? So does that mean there's money owed to them, or
no?
Because I know that, in the oversight hearing, we were told that, they were cut. That's it.
Right.
Because we prioritize subsidies.
Okay. Beyond this year's shortfall, lawmakers also turned to a bigger concern, whether Guam should prepare for future reductions in federal child care funding. Earlier this year, Public Health warned that other jurisdictions have already seen major cuts or lost federal child care support altogether. Areola said the department can provide lawmakers with options other governments are considering, including tighter income eligibility requirements that could reduce enrollment by roughly 20%.
It's very hard to make decisions when we're asking for guidance from our federal partners, and it's not coming either.
As session closed on Tuesday, for senators, the discussion has expanded beyond closing a funding gap to deciding what role the government of Guam should play in supporting working families going forward. Nevaeh Anderson, KUAM News.
Some news now that surprised many of you that we reported on Instagram earlier this afternoon is Guam's chief medical examiner, Dr. Kenny Sue, has submitted his resignation and will leave his position effective at the end of next month. This comes from the Office of the Attorney General, as in his resignation letter, Dr. Sue said he will return to California after accepting an invitation to once again serve as chief forensic pathologist in Sacramento County, of course, the state capital of the Golden State. He called the decision a difficult one and thanked AG Douglas Moylan and the Post-Mortem Committee for the opportunity to serve Guam over the past 2 years. The good doctor said his work included helping establish standard operating procedures and related policymaking for the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner, also urging continued support for the office, noting that Guam has only a single medical examiner's office and that its current facility and staff are stretched to meet service demands. Quoting him, Guam needs a new OCME building and more funding to provide a better quality of life for its people, he wrote. His resignation, as I said, takes effect on August the 31st. Well, as Guam continues to play a growing role in United States military strategy in the Indo-Pacific, defense leaders, government officials, and private industry members are meeting this week to discuss what it will take to keep the island ready for the next phase of the buildup. Matsuki Hirayama reports from Tumon.
The conversations happening inside the Guam Industry Forum could help shape some of the island's biggest projects over the next several years, from military construction to infrastructure needs. Hundreds gathered inside a packed ballroom Thursday for this year's forum. During the opening session, Michael Borders, the Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Energy, Installations, and Environment, discussed the pivotal role Guam plays in U.S. strategy across the Indo-Pacific.
Guam is the launching point for a lot of whatever mission we want to take on in the theater. It is the staging hub. It is where we go to first. Whether you're talking about fighting an aggressor or responding to a humanitarian disaster, it really starts with Guam.
And what needs to happen to deliver major multi-million-dollar projects faster, like repairs for barracks and housing units at Anderson Air Force Base.
I want to be completely honest. We're not the best of partners right now. We don't move fast. We have a lot of unnecessary bureaucracy. Some of our bureaucracy is good, but we have a lot of unnecessary bureaucracy. So I understand we don't move at the speed of industry. We have to get better with that.
The discussion then turned to the island's own infrastructure feeling the impacts of the buildup. Leaders from Guam Power Authority, Guam Waterworks Authority, the Port, Public Works, and Airport Authority talking about what it will take to support continued growth.
And the plan there basically is to reconstruct the 1 lane northbound and 1 lane southbound so that the heavy equipment, the heavy tractor trailers would travel strictly on that lane. To accommodate the heavy usage.
That's DPW Director Vince Ariola, who shares the biggest concern for his department: roads and bridges on Marine Corps Drive impacted by heavy military cargo and super typhoons.
There's been significant scour. There's been significant damage to some of the bridges. They're still capable of holding that weight, but we need to get those bridges reconstructed and re-strengthened to accommodate additional weights throughout the years. We have funding for reconstruction of 2 of the bridges. We put that out to bid in March, and surprisingly, we didn't get any takers for 2 of the bridges.
For the private sector, the forum is also an opportunity to form new partnerships and position themselves for future work.
You know, I think one of the biggest takeaways from this forum is the opportunity to connect with both industry partners, civil officials, the federal government, to collaborate and build partnership for the ongoing not only military buildup, but the infrastructure development here on the island. And I think it's a great opportunity to go build further foundations for our community here.
The 2-day forum continues Thursday at the Dusitani Guam Resort. Matsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Local government news for you now, as Adelup is pushing back after FEMA denied individual assistance for local families impacted by Super Typhoon Silaku 3 months prior. The governor announced the government will appeal FEMA's decision, saying that the administration, quote, respectfully disagrees with the determination. FEMA had previously approved public assistance to help repair damaged government infrastructure, but determined Guam did not meet the threshold for individual assistance under the Individuals and Households Program. The governor says the denial does not diminish the hardships families experienced following the storm and vowed to continue to advocate for federal help. Lieutenant Governor Josh Tenorio says the decision also reflects a changing federal disaster policy, with states and territories expected to shoulder more recovery costs. Guam has 30 days with which to appeal, with the administration saying it's working with Guam Homeland Security, FEMA Region 9, and Guam's congressional delegate to compile additional documentation to support our case. We got a commercial break coming up, everybody, but before we get to that, here's our KUAM recovery tips brought to you by our friends at IT&E. Connections that matter.
This safety tip is brought to you by our partners at IT&E, Connections that matter.
Guam's economy is growing. Millions of federal and military buildup dollars are being invested in our island. Frank Blas Jr. and Dr. Mary Okada have a simple belief.
The best jobs on Guam should go to the people of Guam.
Their plan expands workforce training, apprenticeships, and industry certifications so local residents can compete for high-skill, high-pay careers in construction, healthcare, technology, skilled trades, and defense industries. And they know Guam cannot depend on one industry alone. That's why the Blas Okada administration will grow and diversify our economy, strengthening tourism and hospitality, maximizing military opportunities, and attracting new manufacturing and technology investments that create year-round jobs and long-term economic security. More local jobs, higher wages, more opportunities for our families to build their future right here at home.
Let's invest in our people and build an economy that works for Guam.
Because Guam's future should be built by the people who call Guam home.
Paid for by Friends for Frank and Mary. Andrew L.G., Treasurer.
Let's do this. Pack the backpack. Fill the lunchbox. Cover the basics. Start new adventures. Whatever's on the schedule, Kmart has everything you need, all in one stop. Kmart, let's make a great school year.
Over the course of this campaign, I've learned that the people of Guam don't expect their leaders to be perfect. They expect them to be honest, accountable, and above all, keep their word to the people they serve. Those are the values that have guided my leadership and embodied the Republican Party I want to help lead. I believe good leadership starts with getting the basics right. That means respecting taxpayer dollars, making responsible decisions, and holding ourselves accountable. When our government delivers the right way, we build stronger families, grow successful businesses, and create a brighter future for Guam. Because that's the kind of government you deserve, and that's the commitment the Added Calvo team makes to you and your family. We will say what we mean, do what we say, and always keep our word to the people of Guam. I humbly ask for your vote. I'm Tony Atta, and I approve this message.
Anything's possible.
College is possible. Retirement is possible. Adventure is possible. And so is saving for it all with our Bank Ohana Savings Special. Earn an interest rate of 3.25% for the first 90 days when you deposit $25,000 from another bank into a Bank Ohana Bonus Rate Savings Plus account. Requires a Bank Ohana checking account with an opening deposit of $500. So make your savings goals possible.
Anything's possible.
Reach your possible with Bank of Hawaii.
Welcome back to Primetime. Hafa day, everybody. Once again, I'm Jason Salas. We're going to check back in with the friendly folks over at the Guam Election Commission now to see how this week's prep work for Super Saturday's primary election is shaping up. And if you or someone you know requires special accommodations while casting your ballots, the GEC has you covered. Here's Maria Pangilinan with what you need to know.
We will have accessible voting at all the polling sites. Also, we are still offering homebound services. That's where people who are totally homebound, we can go to their house to make them vote if they're already registered.
And we've talked about that specific use case before because, I mean, you may be motivated, dedicated, really ready to cast your vote, and like somebody may say, hey, I'm going to drive my grandma, you know, to the, let's say, Barragata polling station and everything. She's not feeling well today.
Yes.
They call you guys and you guys are able to service.
We will take their call up until 4:00 p.m. on Super Election Day.
Okay, so if for whatever reason you're not feeling well, you've got something else going on, you know, life happens and everything like that, the GEC has your back, but please make sure you get those calls in before 4:00.
671-477-9791. Call today. The other thing I want to say is we're going to visit the hospitals as well.
Ah.
Yes.
Is that new?
No.
Oh,
We've been doing it for years. What we do is starting potentially tomorrow, we'll get a list of the people in the hospitals, and we will make sure that our patient coordinators remind everybody to make sure they have their ID at the hospital. That's one of our biggest challenges.
Okay.
Yeah, so we start visiting the hospitals potentially tomorrow or the next day.
Are these all three hospitals? Is this GMH, GRMC, and Naval Hospital?
Yes,
Excellent.
we got a call from Naval Hospital recently, so we will be up there.
Okay.
Okay, and so...
But only the hospitals, like not all the clinics and not the pharmacies and not,
no,
you know,
you
like,
have to be homebound.
Yeah,
and at the hospital.
If I'm getting my neck adjusted for chiropractic or, you know, I'm getting shiatsu massage, only hospitals, right?
Only hospitals.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll visit them, and then if somehow you go to the emergency room on Saturday, we can catch you there.
Okay, well that's when you would call the GEC.
Yes.
Once again, that number is 671-477-9791. Just let the GEC know what's going on and everything, and they will try their very best to accommodate you. And in 99% of the cases, you are able to.
Yes, just call us before 4:00 on Saturday.
All right, we're going to look into the Guam Power Authority's general manager, who's providing an update on the recent increase to the LEAC, which took effect on the 1st of the month. Don Sulat has full details.
Guam Power Authority General Manager John Beneventi is going into detail about what went into the increase of the Levelized Energy Adjustment Clause, or LEAC, also known as the Fuel Recovery Charge. Earlier this year, the Public Utilities Commission approved GPA's adjustment to the LEAC, increasing it from 13.6 cents per kilowatt hour to 19.4 cents per kilowatt hour, or an increase of $58 more per month for ratepayers. One of the reasons for the LEAC increase is due to the war in Ukraine, as the fuel that the island receives comes from Singapore, which is heavily affected by the Strait of Hormuz. Beneventi telling attendees of the Guam Chamber of Commerce meeting why the island receives its fuel from Singapore instead of the U.S.
First of all, we do go out for bid. The bids are always coming in from Singapore because that's the lowest cost based on the planogram plus the shipping cost. The shipping cost is about $8 a barrel from Singapore versus more than double that from the U.S.
The GPA GM adds that receiving oil from the U.S. is not off the table.
Maybe we have to hedge. Maybe we have to look at the numbers and see whether we have to hedge and go ahead and pay a little bit more for fuel shipment from the States to make sure that we are not susceptible to all these world events.
According to Beneventi, there is an opportunity to revisit where Guam will get its oil from in the coming months, as the fuel bid could be renewed, extended, or a new bid goes out. Additionally, GPA is looking into expanding their fuel capacity. Currently, Guam can only hold 3 months supply of fuel, but the hope is by the beginning of next year, they can bring in and hold as much as 6 months supply.
So when the fuel prices go down, we can buy more at that point.
Beneventi adds that GPA is planning on maintaining the current fuel surcharge cost unless something drastic happens that could potentially affect the price of fuel.
We don't plan to raise the rate from what we had committed, which is from July 1st, going from the 13 to the 19, all the way to January 31st of next year. So we're trying to hold that rate.
Reporting for KUAM News, I'm Don Sulet.
Now for a look at your world at home.
Right in the center of our island's capital, you will find the cathedral. So we're taking you there today to find peace.
How much I need to have you here with me. Come back home, baby, come back home to me. All I want is your love to set my soul free. Give you and I a chance to try your love again. Come back into my loving arms again.
I remember when families on Guam waited a year, sometimes much longer, for tax refunds they earned. Our people had to beg for money that was rightfully theirs. It was a system that wasn't working for you. So we fixed it. Today, tax refunds are paid in record time, in weeks and months, not years. That's refunds to buy groceries, pay bills, and rent with money that you earned. And that proves something bigger. When we get government finances right, our people feel it, and jobs follow. Progress like this doesn't happen by accident. It takes leadership, it takes discipline, and Guam can't afford to go backward. I'm Josh Tenorio, and together with Tina Munya Barnes, we will keep Guam moving forward, because government delivers results when leaders do the job right. I'm Josh Tenorio.
And I'm Tina, and we approve this message.
Tourism is Guam's #1 industry. It creates jobs and brings in spending. When a visitor comes to Guam, they spend their money on hotels, on transportation, on shopping, on dining out. They're happy they came to Guam. You know who else is happy? The hotel they stayed in, and the bellhop at the hotel. The tour bus drivers and tour guides. The stores they shopped at, and the banks they used. The restaurant and the waitstaff. The supplier who delivered the ingredients, and the farmer who supplied the produce. From real estate to retail, tourism has a positive impact on every industry. When tourists pay taxes, it means locals pay less. Let's make sure our local economy grows so it becomes stronger and more sustainable. Make Guam a better place to live, work, and visit. Support tourism.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replace, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Half a day, I'm Therese Terlahi.
And I'm Sabina Perez.
As your senators, you've seen us fight for lower fuel and utilities costs, lower real property taxes, for the Chamorro Land Trust and affordable housing, to stop meth from entering our island.
For your environment, to remove abandoned vehicles and illegal dumping, for fairness in procurement, and for resources of the government to benefit all the people of Guam.
We've been fighting for you, and that's why we're running for governor
and lieutenant governor.
Please vote Terlahi Perez.
A vote for us is a vote for Guam.
I am Therese Terlahi, and I approve this message.
Brought to you by GTA, we start with you and GTA Fiber, delivering ultra-fast, super reliable internet that keeps your home and business seamlessly connected. Also brought to you by Shell and IP&E. Go well, go Shell. Foodies, eat, drink, happy. And Enterprise Rent-A-Car, here for it.
Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby! Wesley kicks out. Simon, big three. Oh, baby!
This past year, we've been focused on moving Guam forward, strengthening oversight in our schools, supporting our veterans, standing up for students and families, and working on policies that open doors for our people. For me, public service has never been about headlines. It's about showing up, listening carefully, and doing the work that matters. There's still more to accomplish, and I'm ready to keep pushing ahead. I'm Senator Vince Borja, and I humbly ask for your continued support.
My name is Vince Borja, and I approve this message.
At GTA, everyone gets our best deals.
So my Nyaw's Primos Paris is your mom's second cousin's cousin through marriage.
Wow, we're basically like family.
So can I get the deal?
Of course, everyone gets our best deals.
My nana said to tell you she went to church with your auntie.
You look just like my friend's nephew's babysitter. Small island, right? Everyone gets $400 off when you sign up for a Live Unlimited plan.
Bring it in, cuz.
Even if we're not related.
In honor of America's 250th anniversary, Jeep and Captain America are saluting real captains of America.
All clear, Cap.
Heroes like Captain Nuger, Captain Anda.
Team, I got eyes on Cap.
Captain Murray.
Copy that.
Captain McCall. And all those who served our country.
Need a lift, Captain?
Brought my own, Captain. And as America's veteran SUV, Jeep is built for freedom and driven by heroes.
Taco Bell is so good and so cheap.
I know, right? I wonder why.
What if they know we're broke? What if they're trying to be the good guys?
Ah. Thanks, Taco Bell!
News Bites is brought to you by Docomo Pacific Better Together, Fresco Clothing, original custom design apparel of Guam and the Marianas. You guys, I am all about mascots. You know, you can't have sports without a proper mascot. And check out what my friends at Weddingale Elementary School are doing. Go Binadu! All right, the deerlings, lacing up for literacy, right? They got this super cool deer mascot who is literally lacing up and running for literacy. Enjoy a good book, enjoy a comic book, enjoy a blog. As long as you're reading, it'll take you on an adventure, and you're gonna get fit by helping out Weddingale Elementary School. Their PTO is absolutely amazing. Weddingale is awesome. Please make sure to register for this run. It's gonna be super awesome. Free medical outreach is awesome, and it's also necessary. So if you need to get health screenings, make sure your feet are okay, make sure your blood sugar is okay, make sure your blood pressure is okay, make sure your mental health is okay. Please make sure to swing by the Sinana Community Center on Sunday, the day after the election, in the afternoon. So if you stay up with us and you watch our election coverage and you want to sleep in a little bit, that's totally cool. But make sure that you get your health all squared away. They have you covered. And the UOG Golf Challenge is coming up. We keep telling you about this. Work on your game. Some people have been working years and years and years on their long game, and we want to see what you've got. So we are UOG, and we will see you down at CCP Country Club of the Pacific down in God's country in Telefofo on August 30th so that you can show off your skills. Hitting that little ball with 144 dimples on it, did you know that? That's actually a standardized number. All the little dimples, 144 of them, all right? This is what I do in my spare time. I memorize stuff like that. I also do birthdays, so here's what we got tonight. Hey everybody, happy birthday and viva cumpleaños to an island treasure. A segment with him right up to Liberation Day where he talked about the history of the parade. It was such an amazing time. Any conversation with Miguel is a wonderful, wonderful one. So Doc, we hope you have an absolutely wonderful birthday and viva Dr. Bivaco. Want to wish your special someone a happy birthday? Just click the QR code here on your screen or email birthdayclub@kuam.com. Okay, everybody, that's our show. I'm going to go watch The Odyssey. No spoilers. I mean, I know how it ends already. I read the book, but it's supposed to be real, real good. All right, stay tuned. The Hub is up next.
The clock is ticking with just 9 days until the primary election, and so you too are on the clock to make your choice for who will lead Guam into the future. Half a day, everyone. I'm Mitsuki Hirayama, and welcome to The Hub and our Decision 2026 election season weekly rundown of the people, places, personalities, pressing issues, and public matters you'll need to know leading up to August 1. And so we welcome to our KUAM studios the distinguished members of our community who have thrown their hats into the ring so that you might consider them for public office in a Guam legislature. Half a day, everyone.
Half a day.
Half a day. So joining us tonight, we have under the Democratic ticket, former Senator Amanda Shelton, and under the Republican ticket, we have incumbents Chris Duenas, Jesse Lujan, and Charlie Cabell, and then we have newcomer Ralph Scambilleri. Half a day, everyone. Hope you guys had a good Liberation Day weekend. And just getting right into the rules of our rundown. So we'll be posing a series of questions covering various topics to you from our newsroom in the next block. And for these questions, you guys will each have 60 seconds each to respond. And then we also have some community questions from our voters. And for those questions, you'll each get 90 seconds to respond. And then in our rapid fire round, we'll have a few fun questions to give the voters a little a sneak peek into more of your personality and who you are beyond the campaign trail. So keep it here with us, because coming up next, we're going to dive right into our newsroom questions.
Half a day will be replaced with honesty, true transparency, and a willingness to listen to our community.
Please vote Terlahi Perez for Governor, Lieutenant Governor of Guam.
A vote for us is a vote for Guam.
I am Therese Terlahi.
And I'm Sabina Perez, and we approve this message.
GU Self Storage, located in Harmon next to McDonald's, offers a variety of storage units. With rates starting as low as $95 per month, we offer complimentary use of dollies, push carts, Plines hand trucks, and pallet jack, with a fully covered loading and unloading areas and ADA accessible units. We offer 24-hour CCTV surveillance monitoring, alarm, and individual pin-coded gate and door access, because your safety is our priority. GU Self Storage, voted Pica's Best in 2024. Call 671-648-7867 today.
When a crispier McCrispy strip is created, only the best sauce will do. Behold, chicken Caesary greatness. Caesar sauce at McDonald's for limited time.
Now it pays to spread the Better Together experience. With our brand new referral program, you can earn up to $150 in account credits for every referral you bring in. That's right, family, neighbors, friends, even your coworkers. Just pass them your account name and account number. When they sign up for Docomo Pacific service and drop your info, cha-ching! Credit applied. So spread the word and start stacking those savings. Additional conditions may apply. Docomo Pacific, we're better together.
Join us in saluting those making strides in serving our armed forces every Tuesday on KUAM News Instagram, recognizing Guamanians receiving accolades in the armed forces, those stationed in Guam making a difference in our community, and veterans being recognized for their service. Presented by Future Smiles Orthodontics. Build a brighter future with a brighter smile.
Welcome back to the Hub. Let's get right into our newsroom questions. And again, candidates, for these questions, you will each have 60 seconds to respond. And before these questions, I'll be giving a little bit of context behind the questions, and these are the issues that our reporters have been covering year-round. So the first one is on our drug crisis. Guam has a meth crisis that continues to impact families across the island. It's a driving force behind violent crime and repeat offenses. Notably, in the past 2 years, or the length of a senatorial term, we've had the Valentine's Day murder at Thai Thai restaurant in 2024. And then in 2025, we've had the Jigo abduction, shooting, and attempted murder of a man that led to an island-wide manhunt. And most recently, the murder of a 72-year-old man during a Jigo home invasion just last week. All primary suspects have extensive priors, and all incidents have been tied to meth use. So the question is, given that previous quote-unquote tough-on-crime rhetoric hasn't stopped this, what is one specific legislation you will pass within your first 100 days in office to reduce repeat meth-related crimes? And for this question, we'll start on this end with former Senator Amanda Shelton.
Yes, thanks. Well, these events are truly unfortunate, especially in our community. They do not reflect our values as an island society. And I think that the most important thing that we can do is treatment for our people, because this is already a multi-generational problem. We've seen it in homes, parents, grandparents abusing, and we need to be able to stop that problem, as well as drug interdiction, making sure that it's not coming into the island, treatment and prevention. So teaching our children in school at a young age that drugs are not the right way to go. Of course, there are lots of programs like this that we've heard about since we were young people, but that's a reinforcement that's absolutely necessary. And treatment, because being able to treat addiction strengthens the entire family, and the family unit is what we need to be able to improve our community.
Thank you, candidate Shelton. And for Senator Dueña, same question to you. Given that previous tough-on-crime rhetoric hasn't stopped this, what is one specific legislative solution that you will pass within your first 100 days in office to reduce repeat meth-related crimes?
Thank you, Suki. And
tough on crime is very important, but enforcing laws is also very important. And I authored a law that's on the books right now. It's called MAULIC. It's a Multi-Agency Unified Law Enforcement Group. This year, it's funded in the current budget at $500,000. What we need is more police on the street, on the beat, enforcing our laws. Because right now, what we have is a lot of proliferation. There's too much drugs on the street. There's too much drugs getting in. MAULIC is also a law that will provide for interdiction. Interdiction is very important. We know that many sources of drugs are coming in through many sources, but the most important thing we can do is try to get it off the streets. We know that by interdicting drugs on the streets in an effective manner starts to create an opportunity where we can go up the chain and get the bigger fish. But as long as we keep allowing the proliferation of drugs on the streets and a lack of law enforcement, our island cannot be MAULIC. We need MAULIC to put more officers on the street and on the beat.
Thank you. And for Senator Lujan's question, given that previous tough on crime rhetoric hasn't stopped this, what is one specific legislative solution you will pass within your first 100 days in office to reduce repeat meth-related crimes?
Well, now waiting, thank you very much for the question, now waiting 100 days to impose some legislation, actually going back to the 37th Guam legislature. I first co-authored Public Law 37114, basically, which strengthens the sentencing for methamphetamine and fentanyl offenses. Likewise, what it does as well is removes the first offense crimes committed by drug dealers, that basically, and manufacturers of meth and fentanyl. You know, the job of the senator basically is to provide law enforcement officers with clear laws that are enforceable. And so, again, I'm not waiting for 100 days to implement this. We've already been doing it and working alongside, of course, my office mate and my vice chair co-authored the MAULIC bill as well. So we already have things in place, but we need to make sure that the laws are enforced.
And that's time. Thank you so much. And for Candidates Gambleri, same question. Given that previous tough on crime rhetoric hasn't stopped this, what is one specific legislative solution you will pass within your first 100 days in office to reduce repeat meth-related crimes?
The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pen a letter to the governor, the incoming governor, that we need to act immediately, put a state of emergency from the Guam. And that has to be done, because then we could take all those resources, our shortfalls within the public safety, like the senator said, the MAULIC task force. It has to be executed. We do have laws in the books that address a lot of those issues that are occurring in Guam, but they need to be executed. We need to fund the law enforcement community properly and put a fund in the side in the event that we need to cover down shortfalls, or in regards to grants that we need to cover 30%, 20%, 40%. We need to provide that to the agencies. Then they could get the proper equipment, and not only that, staffing. So public safety is tremendous.
Thank you so much. And Senator Calvo, same question. Given that previous tough on crime rhetoric hasn't stopped this, what is one specific legislative solution you will pass in your first 100 days in office to reduce repeat meth-related crimes?
Thank you. Because this is a multifaceted issue, multifaceted approach in solving this issue should be addressed, not just from school system, wherein we provide education to our youth, to our children. As early as elementary, they should already be educated on the repercussions of substance abuse. The family unit as well must be strengthened, and of course, safety in the streets, more bodies out there, and heavier penalties must be included. There's not one legislation that can actually solve the drug or the substance abuse situation on our island. So there's going to be a lot of work. And as a current legislator, I am willing to support any bills or legislation that will address it.
Thank you, candidates, for all your responses to that question. And just a reminder, you will each have 60 questions to respond to these questions. Our next question is on tourism. Tourism remains Guam's #1 economic driver, but it's no secret the industry has been struggling to stay afloat. Visitor arrivals are still below half of pre-pandemic levels now 6 years into recovery. We've seen a wave of long-standing businesses that have permanently closed their doors, from DFS, Hard Rock Cafe, and Fantastic Park, and even more. Even the airport has been impacted as they are now seeking a more than $17 million taxpayer-funded subsidy. So the question is, give a specific, actionable solution you will implement in the 39th Guam legislature to revive our tourism industry and to help our local businesses keep their doors open. And for this question, we'll start with Senator Duenas.
Yeah, you know, I know my office mate, once again, Senator Lohan, will talk about this. I'll do it briefly, but right now we're currently in a conference that Senator Lohan has put together that is working on the Philippine visa waiver to finally bring it to fruition. The CNMI, once again, is partnering with us, and I'll let him expand on that. But the thing is that we've concentrated for too long on the same approaches. We need to change. Taiwan market is there that we can take advantage of. We really need also the study that Senator Lohan is putting together and I co-sponsored in terms of ensuring that we take a look at tourism and even GVB, the way it's currently structured. Folks, it's not working. We can't continue to throw $30, $32 million after an issue that is not being solved currently. We need a new approach. But the biggest thing we need is diversifying our markets while we shore up the markets that we have. This is very important. It's critical to our economic recovery.
Thank you. And Senator Lujan, same question to you. Give a specific, actionable solution you will implement in the next legislature to revive our tourism industry and to help our local businesses keep their doors open.
As we speak right now, actually, we're having a meeting with not just the CNMI folks, but folks from Guam, and we have folks from the Philippines, undersecretaries of Justice, the tourism, and also immigration, that we're talking about the Philippine visa waiver. The Philippine visa waiver actually, as presented by Dr. Jones, actually is a market that is happening right now. It's untapped. It's when we implement it right off the bat, there'd be zero money having to be put in by the Guam Visitors Bureau. We have that market readily available, most especially for families coming visit their families here on excuse me, here on Guam. Likewise, I introduced the bill, the Realign Bill, Bill 340-38, basically is to look at the structure of the Guam Visitors Bureau, look at its efficiency, its productivity, again, its management, its leadership, its governance, its return on investment, and marketing strategy. So these are the things that we have to look into, and whether or not we're investing our money and whether or not we're getting the return on investment.
Thank you so much. And for candidates Gambaleri, same question. Give a specific, actionable solution you will implement in the next term to revive our tourism industry and help keep our local businesses keep their doors open.
First of all, we need to ensure that Guam is safe for travelers to come in. Not just the travelers, also the residents of Guam. We need to ensure that. Without that, we're going to have a lot of major problems. We're going to go back to square one again. And then second one is that we need to clean up this island. We need to ensure the people in Guam and the travelers and everyone else that Guam is a clean island. And we do have issues concerning litter. Of course, it's the same old subject matter keeps going around in regards to the restrooms in the parks and things like that. We need to put more pride in regards to getting our island up and up. But the one thing, Guam needs to be business friendly. Those individuals that shut down those stores here in Guam, huge stores, why did they shut down? We didn't have enough tourists. We didn't have enough shoppers. It's just that Guam needs to be more business friendly. And if it's more business friendly, I think more individuals, companies will come into Guam to invest.
Thank you. And Senator Calvo, same question. Give a specific, actionable solution you will implement in the next term to revive our tourism industry and to help our local businesses keep their doors open.
Tourism is really challenging at this point in time for Guam, and we cannot compete with other countries around us in terms of value for travel. So the best approach for us right now is really to focus on our island, what resources we have at the moment. And for me, what I can see, military is your best tourism resident resource. Why can't we open up small businesses, support people that wanted to open up businesses, and have them cater to the military presence that we have here in Guam. Now, our military are constantly looking for new restaurants, new things to do, new places to go to. So if we focus on that, there's no need to entice more people to come to Guam to travel at this point in time. While we're waiting for travelers to come here, at least we're fixing our island and catering to our military residents as well. And the
That's
local
time.
too.
Thank you so much, Senator Cavill. And for candidate Shelton, same question. Give a specific actionable solution you will implement in the next term to revive our tourism industry and help keep our local businesses keep their doors open.
Tourism is really the lifeline of so many of our residents here on island, and the tourism industry today needs a life raft to keep afloat. While I was a senator and at the peak of the COVID pandemic, when there were no tourists coming to Guam, I passed legislation to provide assistance to our tourism businesses to keep payroll going and to keep our people employed. And that was direct infusion into our businesses. And that's what's needed today. We need to support our local businesses so that they continue to stay open while GVB does the work to market and to bring people here. And we also need to, as all of these folks here today said, we need to clean up our island. We need to do our part as well to ensure that we continue to invest in this industry that has done so much for our island, that has helped us become what we are today.
Thank you so much. And thank you to all our candidates for your thoughtful responses to that question. The next question is on the budget. So Guam could be facing a government shutdown on October 1st as lawmakers and the governor remain deadlocked over the fiscal year 2027 budget, which narrowly passed in an 8-7 vote. There is a looming veto over the BPT rollback and not enough votes currently to overturn it. And it's important for voters to see not just how incumbents take action on the budget, but how newcomers and challengers will act when facing a similar situation. So the question is, if elected or re-elected, what is one specific compromise you will propose to break this deadlock? And yes or no, would you vote for a temporary stopgap budget to prevent an immediate shutdown of public services? And for this question, we'll start with Senator Lujan.
Let me answer first. Would I vote for a temporary stopgap? Oh, absolutely. But it has to be narrowly written, because this budget that was passed basically was a comprehensive budget, a balanced budget put together, of course, by the Office of Finance and Budget and the good chair of OFB. This budget actually started months back when we had all the agencies meeting with the Office of Finance and Budget and likewise either their directors or their CFOs, explaining the needs and assessments of their agencies. And after that, we had the budget hearings as well. So, and that is why the chairman put out that we're going to pass this budget in 1 week, because it was done. And when you talk about the BPT rollback, that's already law. That's been law since the 37th KUAM legislature was again solidified in this legislature. So this was a balanced budget, and all agencies had agreed. The amendments that came in by the detractors amounted to over 200 million in a pot that's only 40 million strong.
And that's time. Thank you so much. And candidates Gambleri, same question. If elected or re-elected, what is one specific compromise you will propose to break this deadlock? And yes or no, would you vote for a temporary stopgap budget to prevent an immediate public services?
As of now, you know, there was 8-7. And eventually it's going to go to the governor's office, and eventually, you know, who knows, she might veto it. And the veto will come back to the legislature again. And would the legislature be able to get the 10 votes? Would they? Would they not? I'm sure. But if it doesn't happen, eventually the budget will have to go back to 2026 and follow that, if I'm correct. And once again, we're back to square one again. So they need some unification from the legislature to go back and go sit down with the governor and the budget senators here. Chris Reynes we're very fortunate that we have an individual in our legislature to put these things together for not just months, years to get this thing moving. So once again, we need to unify, because we're just making Guam stagnant and everything slowing down due to individuals that don't want to see the bigger picture in regards to Guam progressing.
All right, thank you so much. And Senator Calvo, same question to you. What is one specific compromise you will propose to break this deadlock? And yes or no, would you vote for a temporary stopgap budget to prevent an immediate shutdown of public services?
I think there's a lot more discussion that we intend to do amongst our colleagues, and I'm confident that we will come together and have a resolution into this matter. I compromised, I'm willing to compromise. I voted for this budget. I'm one of the 8. And I believe that we all have our reasons and we all have our what we want to do for the public. So at the end of the day, I think a compromise with other colleagues is going to happen. And I'm confident about that. And I will support what is good for the people of Guam.
All right, thank you so much. And Candidate Shelton, same question. What is one specific compromise, if elected, that you will propose to break this deadlock? And yes or no, would you vote for a temporary stopgap budget to prevent an immediate shutdown of public services?
I'd certainly vote for a stopgap budget to ensure that no critical services of the government are stopped and we're still providing what we need to provide to the people of Guam. I think compromise is the key word in any budget negotiation. And in my 6 years as a senator, we were able to pass budgets as a body, unified. Not everyone voted for it. They were never unanimous budgets, but we were able to use compromise and collaboration, especially with the different agencies, to listen and to hear their needs so that we could ensure that those things were included in the budget. And that's something that I'm willing to come back into the legislature to do, and to compromise, of course, with my colleagues for whatever is the best for Guam.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you to all our candidates for...
I didn't answer the question yet.
Apologies. You got it, Ladder.
Senator Duenas, you're the last to respond to this. So what is one specific compromise you will propose to break this deadlock? And yes or no, would you vote for a temporary stopgap budget to prevent an immediate shutdown of public services?
Well, Suki, for obvious reasons, I'm glad you didn't miss me. You know, Senator Shelton, it's fortunate for me to be sitting next to her right now. She's absolutely right. The prior year budgets, I believe one of them was 9 during her term and the rest were 8 votes that the governor signed. And I was one of those 8 votes 4 times. And, you know, I got criticized by some of my colleagues, you know, why? And I said, because, you know, the budget is a budget plan. It's a document that moves us forward. Not everything's going to be perfect. This budget is a good plan. This budget is another record budget, people of Guam. It is $1.404 billion of appropriations. The governor should be able to manage with that, but I will. You know, last year, as Senator Lujan said, the 4% BBT is law. Last year, we overrode the governor, I believe, on September 28th or 29th, just before the opening of the fiscal year. I will compromise and not shut the government down.
All right, thank you so much. And thank you to all our candidates for responding to those questions. We're going to take a quick break, but after we come back after this, we're going to hear some questions from our community members on what they think are the issues most pressing to them and what they want to hear from our candidates. Keep it here. We'll be back right after this.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
Only Pizza Hut lets you surround your favorite pizza with greatness. Get a medium 1-topping stuffed crust pizza for just $14.99. At that price, it's irresistible. Get yours today, only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Discover the heart of our island through its music. Local Music Mashup brings together our region's brightest artists with performances, original songs, and covers of your favorites. Join Victorious Falan as he takes us through the sounds that bind our community. Burger King is a proud partner of Local Music Mashup. You rule!
Welcome back to the Hub Decision 2026. It's now time for what we want, and this is your opportunity to answer to the questions from our voters. So let's take a listen now to our first question.
Guam is going to be seeing a shortage of contractors because of the military buildup, and we know contractors are going to be completing their jobs and they're going to be departing Guam. So I'd just like to know, what is your backup plan on how we can get more contractors here on Guam to start working on the projects that are outside of the military gates?
And once again, candidates, you guys will each have 90 seconds to respond to the question. And we'll start with candidates Gambleri first. Your response to that?
Let me just give you an example. Just a couple of weeks ago, there was a contractor that came from the United States. He's not a big contractor, but he's a mid-level contractor. He was here for like 5-6 months trying to get a process to get into the construction field to build homes outside the gate. Apparently, it was just too unfriendly for him to conduct business in Guam. It was so difficult to get the permitting, the application forms, just to get everything rolling. He already opened up a bank account. He has a crew coming in ready to go. But once again, Guam is not business friendly. It needs to change its attitude. In regards to, we need to streamline the government procedures, mostly down in the permitting side. So there's a vast amount of companies that want to come to Guam. They want to settle here in Guam. They want to put the money in Guam. But we need to be really business friendly. And that's really, really the one thing to attract construction companies. The big contractors are going to leave. Where's the mid-level contractors going to be at? They need to come to Guam. And we need also local contractors to get into the system. But once again, we need to be business friendly.
All right, thank you so much. And Senator Calvo, same question to you. I'll just repeat it. Guam is going to be seeing a shortage of contractors because of the military buildup. What is your backup plan on how we can get more contractors here on Guam to start working beyond the fence?
We shouldn't wait until all the contractors leave. We should already act now. And we should look into our human resource here in the island. We have teens going to the 20s, to the 30s, wherein we should have more programs to get them into construction work. And we can find them. We can start with schools. We can actually open up applications, explain to them what beauty it is or what good it is and how much they're going to make for this. Use our local resources so that when contractors are gone, we're not going to be left with clipped wings. At the end of the day, we should all take care of ourselves. Get these young individuals also thinking of having a work. That way we can get them out of the streets, you know, kids that are getting in trouble. We can start with those. We can check with our mayors. They know the people in their villages, offer this type of jobs and make it with good incentive, with good pay. You know, that way they can say, you know what, there's dignity to working. So we use our current resources. We use our people here. We have a lot of people here on Guam that are needing jobs. Why don't we find them?
All right, thank you. And Senator, candidate Shelton, same question. What is your backup plan on how we can get more contractors here on Guam to start working on the projects outside of the military gates?
Well, I think that we should look at this as an opportunity for the island. If you look at trends in higher education, trades are really the way of the future. And we have an excellent place here on island, our Guam Trades Academy, that are skilling up our young people and older people who are wanting to change career paths so that they can go into the construction or trade industry. And we need to invest in that, like Senator Calvo said. From high school on, trades can be a really excellent option so that our people here can be the business that will provide the service to our island.
Thank you so much. And Senator Dueñas, same question to you on the topic of contractors working beyond the fence.
Washington, Washington, Washington. This is another area where we need the One Guam approach. The legislature, the governor, the congressman. Actually, right now, the problem we have is that we don't have enough labor outside the fence. So as we start to draw down, we need to continue to press Washington. How come we cannot allow those that same labor that comes in to do the work on base migrate off base? You know, I was taught by a cousin of mine who was in the construction industry, Perez brothers, actually, their family was in the construction industry for a long time, that what we always need to learn is, as was mentioned, Trades Academy, GCC, is that when construction comes to Guam, the construction provides for the buildings and the expansion of all of the new things that get built on Guam. But what's left over? The maintenance, the upkeep, the HVAC, all of these different disciplines that, as we were discussing along this panel, these are the high-paying jobs. These are the small businesses. These are the things that actually end up percolating out from this economy, the maintenance and upkeep of all these buildings and all the construction that went forward. Bottom line is, we got a housing shortage. This is why we're asking the feds, relax some of your regulations, let some of that labor outside. But in the meantime, as they're counting down, let that labor go out so that we can build for our future, build houses for our people.
Thank you so much. And for Senator Lujan, same question to you regarding contractors outside of the fence.
You know, aside from of course, the federal roadblocks that Senator Chris was talking about, we need to create the opportunities again for contractors, for people to want to come and invest in Guam and want to build in Guam. You know, recently, just as this legislature introduced a bill with a 50-year lease for the Guam International Airport Authority, and they've been getting, and it passed into law. The governor signed it into law, and they've been getting inquiries already in regards to aeronautical-related to industries that want to come to Guam to the tune of tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars, to have their hub here to be able to service planes out here and things of the like. But we have to create the opportunities again. And as we speak, again, we have this the Guam CNMI visa waiver. We have to provide and bring folks in here into Guam to spend, because right now you you drive down anywhere, you go to the malls, you see how empty it is at this point. Most of our competitors have already rebounded from COVID. We haven't at this point. So we need to create those opportunities alongside getting those federal restrictions lifted. And so we need to work again as one voice with our congressmen, and not just congressmen from Guam, but also congressmen from the CNMI, to get these restrictions, because these restrictions apply to them as well.
All right, thank you to all our candidates for your responses to that question. Let's take a listen now to our second community question.
Will there be more opportunities for people coming out of prison, and housing and rehabilitation opportunities for people that are struggling with meth addictions? Unfortunately, there is no aftercare program that continue rehabilitation outside of prison.
Yeah.
So it would be nice to have like an aftercare program where you house and train people coming out of prison, educate and get them reintegrated back into society.
Right, so we're starting with Senator Calvo. Your response to that question?
This is the perfect example of what I have mentioned earlier, where we target our human resource. We have already the people here. We can start a program to not just to rehabilitate, but give people that had been down in luck the opportunity to get back on their feet. So this would be a perfect segment and time and opportunity for us to look into this.
All right, thank you so much. And candidate Shelton, your response to that question, I can repeat it. Will there be more opportunities for people coming out of prison for housing and rehabilitation opportunities for people that are struggling with meth addictions to help reintegrate them back into society?
I think it all has to start within the prison to ensure that we have those programs already preparing those who are nearing release so that they can get back on their feet. But we do need other programs like a stronger halfway house, or to expand the RSAT program, which we have been working with now in my position at the Department of Public Health, to find ways to bring them permanent housing so that they could really thrive in their recovery. We are also getting ready to open a new apartment unit that will be transitional housing for women, many who are undergoing rehabilitation through the court system, the judicial system, for them to reunify with their children who are in our foster care system.
our CPS system. So there is work being done today to do this, and of course it needs to be expanded so that we can help more populations be able to come out fully rehabilitated and help them to be successful in society as they reintegrate.
Thank you, Candidate Shelton. And for Senator Dueñas, same question. Will there be more opportunities for people coming out of prison for housing and rehab opportunities for people who are struggling with meth addictions to help reintegrate them back into society?
Thank you, Suki, and thank you to Senator Shelton. You know, I hope that housing project gets open soon. That's been underway for a while now. We've put a lot of money into that, federal and local now, supporting that through you know, public health. The bottom line is, Suki, we have to understand, and I think most people with their families understand this, substance abuse really is a lot of what drives homelessness and drives the situation whereby individuals find themselves in difficulty. You know, I've got to sympathize with employers. It's very difficult to bring somebody into the workforce when you know that there's been difficulties in their life regarding imprisonment and addiction. So we really have to work with Department of Labor and other programs that are put together, second chance programs, where these individuals prove for a series of time that they truly are rehabilitated and they want to re-enter the workforce, to be considered that they have changed their lives and want to start over. And so I think that that really is the gateway to it, making sure that this program that's been funded, working with Department of Labor. Another thing, even before that, Suki, we know that a lot of people end up in prison because when they're homeless and addicted, the you know, propensity to crime is really extreme, right? But if before they get arrested and they're meth addicted, that we create another area, you know, perhaps a day housing program, you know, where when they go there, the services they receive also are not just treatment services, but skilling them up. So maybe they change their life before they even enter the criminal justice system.
Time. Thank you so much, Senator. And Senator Lujan, same question. Will there be more opportunities for people coming out of prison for housing and rehab opportunities for people that are struggling with meth addictions to help reintegrate them back into society?
Well, Suki, there'll always be a need for more rehabilitational programs here in Guam. There'll always be a need for that. What we have to remember as well is to be able to create opportunities for these folks who have gone through the rehabilitation program, and to be able to want to go out there and be self-sufficient and employed and all that. And as Senator Chris Dueñas says, he understands and we understand, of course, the challenges that employers face, again, with people who have been addicted to drugs, most especially here in Guam, with the methamphetamine. But we have to create opportunities. You know, what we don't say, in the other hand, is we need to have all these help programs for our people who are addicted into drugs. But what we have to also understand, that we have to build opportunities for these companies to grow, to be able to employ people, to have more employment, to allow people to be employed. We can't have these programs and then people go out and not be able to find any work. So businesses cannot close down. We cannot allow them to close down, because then they would have no employment. So, you know, and on one hand, we need these programs to help people that are addicted. On the other hand, we need to enhance businesses to continue to employ and have them grow to employ these folks that they need to work in their establishments.
Thank you so much. And Candidate Scambilleri, same question. Will there be more opportunities for people coming out of prison for housing and rehab for people that are struggling with meth addictions to help reintegrate them back into society?
Well, everyone here in this panel has great ideas. We all, our emphasis is to get people working, get them out of the prison system. Department of Correction is not a correctional facility. It's a penitentiary to me. I'm going back to the senators. They need to start before they get pre-release, start putting them to the Trades Academy, get some agreement within the Trades Academy to start prepping them for the outside environment, because they've been incarcerated for who knows how many years. So we need to prep these individuals when they get into society. And that's a huge undertaking. You know, Public Health has some programs, Department of Labor has some programs. They do have some programs in Department of Correction. I think they do some farming, they do some yard work for the schools and public highways and things like that. But there's a multifaceted things for them to prepare themselves, like what the senator said, Jess said. We could prepare them so much, but do they have that opportunity to have a job when they're out, getting to be released? We need a strong economy. then we could assist those programs that need to be assisted before they get out into the society.
All right. Thank you so much to all our candidates for your response to that question. Let's take a listen now to our third and final what we want question.
My question for all the people running is, what improvements do you have to bring to the island of Guam? Thank you.
And we'll start with former Senator Amanda Shelton for this.
Well, my focus as a senator has always been our Manumku and our Manhoban. I've always focused on bringing opportunities to young people, such as keeping tuition affordable at the University of Guam, making sure there's no hikes in tuition, allowing them to make more revenue so that they can support their students, keeping our Manumku safe by making greater penalties for abuse, financial abuse, sexual abuse, emotional abuse of our Manumku, and making sure that our most vulnerable populations are taken care of and are kept safe, because that's who we are as a community. Our island values must be reflected in the work that we do, and that's what I will bring to the legislature.
Thank you so much. And same question to you, Senator Duenas. Your response to what improvements do you have to bring to the island of Guam?
You know, I think Senator Shelton also saw that that individual was speaking from the brand new student center up at the University of Guam. I'm a big fan of the University of Guam, and we're producing wonderful professionals from UOG. You know, I've gotten criticized in the last couple of years because I've been partial to the university. They've gotten favorable budgets, and that's because right now your University of Guam, people of Guam, is producing engineers. The School of Engineering is several years old now, and I can tell you that those are studying for engineering coming from our STEM schools going upwards to the University of Guam. While they're in their junior year, those that are going to high school now, while they're in their junior year, they're being recruited from the firms who need engineers. Local SSFM, actually at University of Guam now, is as a sponsor of one of the study rooms up at the University of Guam. You know, education, nurses. The nursing program now has expanded, pretty much doubled. Our nurses on Guam exponentially go and serve at the Guam Memorial Hospital. I think 70 to 80% of them are serving at Guam Memorial Hospital as opposed to some of the other opportunities. So opportunities are education, education, education. This year in this budget, $274 million, a record budget for Department of Education. Those are the opportunities that our legislature right now, and I think many of these folks, are geared to help our people.
All right, thank you. And Senator Lujan, same question. What improvements do you have to bring to the island of Guam?
You know, thank you very much. You know, as a matter of fact, as we speak again, you know, we have this Philippine Visa Waiver Conference Summit, actually, that we're having right now. Dr. Roseanne Jones today presented and basically gave us the argument in favor and gave us all the data that would allow us to be able to bring that to the federal government. You know, we're working closely, again, with Dr. Ricky Hernandez, who's up at the University of Guam right now. We're able to put policies together to be able to get the 50-year lease that was passed to be able to, again, have economic prosperity and you know, businesses to be able to thrive at the airport. We also put together the dollar-for-dollar offset to be able to improve the Port Authority of Guam. And recently we just passed the ETA program to be able to improve the frontage, again, of buildings from Tumon and around the island. So these are the things that, again, we're working really closely with folks in the University of Guam. My chief policy advisor as well is a professor at the University of Guam. So we're working really closely with studies that they've already done and continue to make and to bring it to be able to bring it to the lawmakers to implement. So with that, there's a lot of work going on and implemented at this point.
Thank you, Senator. And Canada's Gambaletti, your response to what improvements do you have to bring to the island of Guam?
People of Guam, I worked for 6 governors, 2 Democratic governors and 4 Republican governors. But I could say if I have the opportunity to sit as a senator, my emphasis will be truly on providing your safety at home, leaving your house, getting into the car, going to the store, going shopping, getting in that car and feel safe going back home. Or just going to school, or going to events. But I want to ensure that people, I want to try my best to bring back public safety and get it stronger to protect you. You know, I've been in the public eye for so many years. I've seen the mayors. There's 19 mayors out there. I've gone out there way before I even made my notice to be a candidate for a senator. I've been out there helping DYA, my own personal dime, providing encouragements for the clients there to better themselves, even in Department of Correction. I've gone out there and spoken to the community for many, many years. And I think that for me sitting in a Senate, if I do get elected, I'm going to try my hardest to protect you out there, and protect the people of Guam. Thank you.
Thank you, candidate Scambilleri. And Senator Calvo, same question. What improvements do you have to bring to the island?
I've only been in the legislature for 1.5 years, but I know that there are a number of legislations that I have already passed that actually help the community in general. So I'm going to bring in again balance and help for the youth, the young ones, the manamkus, the women, and as well as help support legislations for our economy. And I'm not going to stop seeking and dialoguing with investors, because there are some items that I have been working on from last year to bring in improvements to Guam. And I'm hoping that, pretty soon there will be advancement on that. And these are a lot of things that will address a lot of issues that we have in Guam. It's just that I'm not yet privy to talk about it, but I'm in current discussions from last year with a lot of investors coming in here. So I'd like to continue to serve the people of Guam if you would support me once again. And of course, I'd like to fight with you once again, and of course, work alongside with you for the progress of Guam. So I'll bring in what I brought in from last year.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Calvo, and thank you to all our candidates for your responses to our community questions. Well, that was what we want, but when we come back after this, we'll get right into our rapid fire questions for a sneak peek into who you guys are beyond the campaign trail. So keep it here. You're watching The Hub Decision 2026.
In honor of America's 250th anniversary, Jeep and Captain America are saluting real captains of America.
All clear, Cap.
Heroes like Captain Nuger, Captain Enda.
Team, I got eyes on Cap.
Captain Murray.
Copy that.
Captain McCall. And all those who served our country.
Need a lift, Captain? Brought my own, Captain.
And as America's veteran SUV, Jeep is built for freedom and driven by heroes.
Get the new and improved KUAM News mobile app in the Apple App Store or Google Play for Android, featuring the latest local news, advisories, promotions, giveaways, and more. New apps, same reliable information from Guam's news leader. Search in your favorite app store for KUAM and download today.
Welcome back to The Hub Decision 2026. Now we're on our rapid fire question round, and we'll start with Senator Dueñas for the first question. So what is one song on your playlist that would surprise your constituents?
Oh my gosh. I guess everybody would think I should say My Way, since some people say that's what I tried to do with the budget, but it's not actually, it's Our Way. You know, I don't really have a song that I could particularly say, but you know, I like to sing the Our Father when we do that at church. But yeah, I don't have a song in particular that I could talk about.
And for Senator Lujan, in one word, if Guam could successfully develop one industry beyond tourism and the military, what do you think it should be?
Aviation.
Right. And for candidate Scambilleri, who is your closest friend or ally within the party line? Within the Republican Party?
Oh, that's a hard one, because everyone's my friend. And I don't want to segregate someone or eliminate someone, but you know what? They're all my friends, Democrats and Republicans. I'm sorry. I like Senator Chris's question.
Right. And for Senator Calvo, who is your closest friend or ally outside of the party line?
I try to work with everybody. It's not even try. It's authentic. You know, I like to be friends with everyone, and I know that sometimes disagreements are, you know, unavoidable. But I think basically on my end, I'm friends with everybody.
Could I get back on that? I got someone.
Me?
I think my mentor is Eddie Calvo, my treasurer.
Awesome. And for Senator or for candidate Shelton, what is your favorite Guam legend?
Oh, I love the legend of Serena. I always loved swimming when I was younger, and so that always resonated with me, like wanting to be in the water and being a girl with long, beautiful hair. It was always mesmerizing.
Awesome. And for Senator Duenas, if a movie were filmed on Guam, what location on the island do you think deserves a starring role?
Oh, definitely in the ocean. It's got to have something to do with diving and fishing. So it'd be something about adventure, and definitely would have to do it on the ocean. And I'd be happy to film some of it on my boat.
All right. Thank you to all our candidates for responding to our rapid fire questions. Before we close out, we want to give each of you one final pitch to the voters, and you will have 90 seconds for your closing statement. Apologies, 60 seconds for your closing statement. And we can start with, I believe we started with you first last time, so we can start with candidate Scambilleri.
Haparay Guam. My name's Ralph Scambilleri. You can call me Ralphie. I'm number 7 in the ballot. I'm running as a Republican. But actually, my family and my friends are Democrats and Republicans. I'm running because I feel it's time for me to step up. I've been retired for over 10 years. I was the customs chief for many years. I started in the government of Guam in 1979. Like what I said, I worked for 6 governors, 2 Democratic and 4 Republicans. I think it's time for me to, I can't sit back and see what's going on in Guam. The crime is just tremendously, it's out of hand. And the method, it's a huge subject matter. All the senators, I think, and elected officials are all talking about the methamphetamine problem in Guam. It all resonates. It contributes to all the crimes, basically robberies, home invasions, multifacets with regards to the crime. So I want to come back and help the people of Guam and get this combat this crime issues here in Guam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And Senator Calvo, your closing statement?
Hi, my name is Shelly Calvo, and I'm running once again. I am number 8 on the Republican side of the ballot. I thank you for supporting me and voting for me the last election, and I humbly ask for your support and for your vote once again. Please allow me to continue serving you, serving the people of Guam, serving our most needy, and I would like to continue in helping and assisting with my colleagues and even the administration, the departments and the agencies. Allow me to help once again and continue the work that I have begun. And this work primarily focuses on people, the individuals, the very individuals. It's you, the people of Guam, that we actually serve, that actually put us here. So on the primary election, please don't forget number 8 on the Republican side of the ballot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Calvo. And candidate Shelton, your closing statement?
Hafaday, I'm Amanda Shelton, number 6 on the Democrat side of the ballot. It's been my greatest honor to serve you for 3 terms in the Guam legislature and now in the executive branch at the Department of Public Health and Social Services. I'm running for senator once again to restore dignity and respect in the legislature and do what the people of Guam deserve. It was together with you, the people, that I was able to author legislation to raise the COLA, the cost of living allowance for our retirees, to ensure that we have 100% renewable energy by the year 2045, to keep our utility bills low and to protect our island and our environment. And these are things that I want to continue to fight for you, the people of Guam, in the legislature. Again, I'm Amanda Shelton, number 6 on the Democrat side of the ballot,
and I humbly ask for your vote.
Thank you. And Senator Dueñas, your closing remarks?
Hafa Adai, my name is Chris Dueñas, and I am number 14 on the Republican side of the ballot. It has truly been an honor and a privilege serving the people of Guam now in my 5th term. One of the things other than fighting the meth epidemic that I've concentrated on is affordable housing. Many of you out there know about the advanced nitrate system on Guam, allowing you to build your home on smaller pieces of property. Thanks to my colleagues, that will become law now in about 15 days. So get ready to build your affordable home on your smaller piece of property. Also, the additional dwelling units. I authored that, which means you can build up to 900 square feet of a home next to your home that you can have the dignity of living in as well, while we fight through this economy to getting to the fact that you can build a bigger home for your family in the future. It is so critical right now to keep our people on Guam that we concentrate on affordable housing, fighting the meth epidemic, as well as creating more opportunities for our better public safety. I humbly ask for your vote on August 1.
Thank you, Senator Dueñas. And Senator Lujan, finally, your final pitch.
Thank you very much. First of all, thank you very much to your KUAM viewers and KUAM and your sponsors for hosting this forum. Thank you very much for that. My name is Jesse Michael Anderson Lujan. I'm number 1 on the Republican side of the ballot. You know, look at the primary as, of course, my progress report to the people of Guam, and your vote will be your grading of my progress. And again, once again, I humbly ask for your precious vote in this upcoming primary. My name is Jesse Michael Anderson Lujan, again, number 1 in the Republican side of the ballot. Thank you, and Sejus Mase to everybody and your viewers. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much to all of our candidates for joining us tonight, and thank you to our viewers for tuning in. That was the Hub Decision 2026. Good luck to you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.